MrBeast just released Beast Games and it's insane. With a $100 million budget and 1,000 contestants, it's unlike any other TV show in history. Except Squid Game The Challenge, Netflix's incredible reality show with 456 contestants and a $4.5 million prize pool. So who did it best? Who made the most money? And what does this mean for the future of YouTube? This is MrBeast just 9 years ago, telling his 8,000 subscribers that he wants to be a big YouTuber one day. At the time, Jimmy was making random gaming videos from his bedroom. Meanwhile, Netflix is a huge company worth over $50 billion. Fast forward a few years and Netflix releases their biggest hit ever, Squid Game. It had a $21 million budget, a renowned director, and was more than a decade in the making. Within the first month, it's been seen 111 million times. But somehow, after just 5 weeks, this video was released. MrBeast's Squid Game in real life, made by that same little kid that had no following but big dreams. Instantly, it rose to 42 million views, the most amount of views in 24 hours of any YouTube video ever. How is it possible that this YouTuber could suddenly recreate all the amazing sets and production that Netflix made in just over 1 month? It's now been seen more than 675 million times, and I think many people would argue perhaps that this video is a better watch than the actual Squid Game. It became clear to Netflix that the demand for a Squid Game in real life series was absolutely massive. People were wondering if they would get MrBeast to produce the show. In June 2022, it was announced that Squid Game The Challenge would be released on Netflix, produced by Studio Lambert, with absolutely no involvement from MrBeast. Of course, this left people bewildered. However, many would say Studio Lambert were the obvious choice. They're the world's best at producing unscripted reality shows. They're renowned for shows such as Undercover Boss, Wife Swap, Gogglebox, Race Across the World, even the US and UK versions of The Traitors. If anyone could pull this off, it's them. And Netflix were pulling out the stops for this one. The series would have the largest prize amount and the most amount of competitors of any game show in history. So Studio Lambert got work on production. Squid Game The Challenge was released in November 2023 for roughly 50 million viewers in the first month. It was clear that they were inspired by MrBeast, opting to use similar dye packs and costumes and other details. Apparently fans weren't happy that Netflix was ripping off MrBeast, which is pretty ironic. The show was a huge success, with Netflix announcing a second season before the entire first season had even come out. However, the reviews were mixed. Some critics applauded it, calling it one of the best reality shows of recent years and an addictive watch, whereas others found the show distasteful. But then MrBeast tweeted, "I want to test what I do on YouTube on a streaming service for fun to see how it performs." Less than a year later, and on a podcast, the show was announced.
It's like our normal videos, but just 20 times better.
However, the podcast performed poorly for MrBeast and no one really seemed to care. But what did catch people's attention was a lawsuit. Contestants were suing MrBeast's production company and Amazon, alleging that they weren't paid, were subjected to unsafe conditions, and experienced sexual harassment. MrBeast responded to the claims saying, "We have tons of behind the scenes dropping when the show does to show how blown out proportion these claims were. Just can't release it now because it would spoil the games." This was also a problem for Squid Game The Challenge. Allegedly, ambulances had been called to treat injuries from filming the show, and that red light green light had lasted for 7 hours. However, the local ambulance service stated it hadn't been called out to the studios. A regulations enforcer even evaluated the complaints and found no issues. But now Beast Games has dropped, and it's such a clear display of how YouTube is destroying TV. Beast Games has done almost everything better than Squid Game, and this is MrBeast's first time ever making a TV show. The sets are incredible, the games are engaging, and the pacing is much faster than most TV shows can even fathom. Coming from YouTube, MrBeast's team knows that audiences don't want to watch long, dragged out episodes. Squid Game The Challenge for me felt like half the series was pure filler, trying to make a whole 10 episodes out of barely any engaging content. For example, the honeycomb game, where contestants sat in silence, awkwardly licking the biscuits. We were forced to watch it 4 times over. Meanwhile, MrBeast's new show fits multiple engaging games into one episode, and it cuts out almost all of the boring bits. Where Squid Game The Challenge has constant cuts to contestants in takeaway rooms, talking about what happened afterwards, MrBeast manages to capture their thoughts while the action is happening. It's just a lot more engaging. However, it's hard to ignore how much money MrBeast was throwing away. He was practically burning money on production with the crazy sets and the camera equipment.
World record holding 1,107 camera system.
And then there's the millions that he gave away to contestants. Netflix's show only had a $1 million budget per episode, way less than the $100 million deal that MrBeast had won. And this is clear with Squid Game The Challenge, where it looks like all the money went to recreating the sets, the final prize pool, and not much more. Interestingly though, even with the $100 million, MrBeast claims to potentially be losing money making it. But it seems that this is a move to elevate his brands. You can see that he has a Feastables cafe appearing in the show, and MrBeast expects to make more money on a second season.
Let me just prove myself, and then we'll talk for season 2 and stuff like that.
In my eyes, MrBeast has now shown that YouTubers can make their own TV shows and do it well. Previously, many YouTuber shows on streaming platforms have been hated on relentlessly, with the blame largely being placed on corporate execs who have complete control of the finished product. They force YouTubers into making what they believe will work, rather than listening to the creators that know what their audience is like. Hopefully, MrBeast has proven to these execs that traditional TV needs to be shaken up, and YouTubers might be the people to go to.